Alright, today we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing integers. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to talk about multiplying. So when you multiply integers, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to count how many negative signs you have. So always just count how many there are. So if you have an even amount of negatives, then the product is going to be positive. So if you have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on, it's going to be a positive answer. If you have an odd amount, then it's going to be a negative answer. So like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and so on. Alright, your step 2 is you're just going to multiply the numbers like normal. So you're just going to forget about the negative signs, you're just going to multiply. And then step 3, if an odd amount of negative signs, then we make the product negative. So that's exactly what we just set up here. So if it's an even amount, we're going to make it positive. If it's an odd amount, we're going to make it negative. So let's take a look. So I got negative 5 times 3. So again, first thing you're going to do is you're going to count how many you have. So we have one negative and none over here. So altogether we have one negative sign. So one negative sign, so we know that the product is going to be negative. Step 2 is just to multiply like normal. So we're going 5 times 3, which we know is 15. And then since we said there's one negative sign, we know it's going to be 15. The answer is going to be negative 15. Alright, let's see this one. Negative 2 times negative 5 times 4. So count your negative signs. We have 2. So since we have 2, we know it's going to be positive. We're then going to multiply like normal. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. So since I have 2 negative signs, I know my answer is going to be positive. So my answer is 40. Right, and then now we have negative 1 times negative 8 times negative 2 times negative 3. So count your negative signs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So since that's even, we know it's going to be positive. So go ahead and multiply. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. So since we had 4 negatives, we know that the answer is positive. Alright, so that's multiplying. So all you gotta do is just count the negative signs. If it's odd, then you know the answer is going to be negative. If it's even, then you're going to be positive. Then just multiply and put the right sign with it. Alright, so division. The division of integers is the exact same as the rules for multiplying. The only difference is we divide instead of multiply. So for example, if I had negative 25 divided by negative 5, again, just count the negative signs. I got 1, 2. So since there's 2 negatives, we know that my answer is going to be positive. So just 25 divided by 5 is 5. So then, since we had 2 negatives, we know that the answer is positive. Now I got negative 300 divided by 10. Count your negatives. I got 1. So then I know that my answer is going to be negative. So 300 divided by 10 is 30. And since we had the 1 negative, the answer is going to be negative 30. Alright, so let's see. We got 8 times 9. So that's going to be just regular. So that's 72. So that's our answer. Alright, now we got 2 times negative 3. So 1 negative, so you know it's going to be a negative answer. So it's either B or C. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So our answer, negative 6. Negative 6 times 4. We have 1 negative, so your answer is going to be negative. So it's going to be one of these first 3. 6 times 4 is 12. So you know you're negative 24. I'm sorry. 6 times 4 is 24. So your answer is negative 24. This one we got negative 5 times negative 2. Even number. So that means it's going to be a positive answer. So 5 times 2 is 10. So it's going to be positive 10. We also have negative 16 divided by 4. So one of them. So it's going to be a negative answer. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. So it's going to be a negative 4. Alright, go ahead and try this one. Alright, so 2 negatives. So the answer is going to be positive. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So our answer there would be positive 2. Alright, let's take a look at this. So integer multiplication. Remember, multiplication is repeated decimals. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 just means I have 5 groups of 2. So that's where 5 times 10 comes from. So if we took a look at this on a number line, it would look like I have 5 hops going to 2, and it would be worth 10. So if I start at 0, I jump 2 spots, jump 2 spots, jump 2 spots, jump 2 spots, jump 2 spots. So I have 5 jumps, and so that would be 5 times 2 equals 10. Now down here I got -2 plus -2 plus -2 plus -2 plus -2. So remember, positives go to the right, negatives will then go to the left. So this means I have 5 groups of -2. So that's just going to look like this. So you're going to start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 groups of -2. So that's what it would look like on a number line, if you ever had a question like that. Alright. Go ahead and try these. When you're ready, you can go ahead and come back and we'll go over them. Alright. 5 times 4 is 20. Asking if you're going to be positive or negative. So I don't have any negative signs, so you're going to be positive. 5 times -4 is going to be a -20 because we have one negative. -5 times 4, you know it's going to be negative. It's a -20. And then -5 times -4, even number, so that's also going to be just regular 20. Same thing over here. We know it's going to be negative. You know this is going to be negative. This is going to be positive. And then since this is being multiplied by 0, 0 is just a non-existent number, so it can't be positive or negative. So we're just going to leave it like that. So we're just going to put not available. Alright, so this is going to be -3, -12, and 72. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and match these to anything you want. So a positive times a positive, that means there's no negative, so you know it's going to be positive. Positive times a negative, so there's one negative, so it's going to be an odd number, so that's a negative. Negative times a positive, and negative times a negative. Because there's 2, so that makes it even, which is positive. Division, it's going to be the exact same thing. Positive divided by a positive is a positive. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. Negative divided by a positive is negative. Negative divided by a negative is positive. So to reiterate, your multiplication and division rules are the exact same. You count the number of negative signs. If it's an odd number, it'll give you a negative answer. If it's an even number, it'll give you a positive answer. Alright, so go ahead and try these ones and do some division. Come back when you're ready. Alright, so the answer to this one is going to be -3. This one is going to be a negative, let's see, let's go ahead and do it out, because sometimes we don't get calculators. So you got to ask yourself, how many times is 5 going to into 14? So it's going to be twice. Bring down the 4, and then 5 goes into that 9 times. So since I have 29 and I have one negative, we know that that answer is -29. That's just 8 divided by 2, so that's 4. -94 divided by 2, so you're going 2 into 94. 2 goes in 4 times. Bring down your 4, and that's going to be a 7. So this is going to be a 47. Since you had even number of negative signs because you had 2, you know that's your answer. 6 into 5,322. 6 goes into 53. 8 times. So that's 48. So that's 5. So 52 now. So that's going to be an 8 again. 48. So that's a 42. And that's going to be 7 times. Alright, so now we got 887. I had one negative, so that's an odd number, so that makes my answer negative. And over here, 2 into 58. 2 times 2 is 4, so 2, 1, 8, and 9. So that's going to be a 29. I have an even number, or an even amount of negatives, so my answer will be a positive. So again, you always count the number of negative signs you have. If you have an odd number of them, it's going to be a negative answer. An even number, it's going to be a positive answer. And you just do your multiplication or division like normal, and then just give it the correct sign. Alright, so that was multiplying and dividing integers. As always, if you have any questions, come in and ask.